My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you're doing well. What I have here is the Esbit Medium Size Solid Fuel Stove. In the past, I've taken a look at quite a few of these. Some from Esbit, some from other companies, BCB for an example. This is the Esbit Medium Size. The company offers 3 different versions of this stove, a small, a medium, and a large. Over the course of time, we're taking a look at all of them. Today, we have the medium version. Ultimately, I will have a video where I compare all 3. And that's because there's quite a big difference between the small, the medium, and the large. You really wouldn't think so when you look at the measurements on paper, because you're only talking about a little bit more than an inch difference from the smallest to the largest. But in all reality, it makes a huge difference. Before going any further in this episode, a special thank you goes out to Theo. Thank you so much for sending in this stove and also the large size. I appreciate it, and I know the community does as well. If you would like to send something in for potential review, feel free to. So here you go, folks. This is the Esbit stove, medium size. It's made from galvanized steel. When it comes to the measurements, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and it's roughly 1 inch deep. And as I mentioned before, this is designed for solid fuels. This is a foldable stove. It unfolds, and I'll show you that in just a second. Now, I will go ahead and tell you that it's not the easiest thing in the entire world to get this open. To make it easy, you almost need to take your fingernail and pop the side to open it up. But when it's open, this is what you get. Now, with this stove, this specific model, it comes with 2 fuel cubes. These are 27-gram hexamine tablets. They are huge. And these things will burn forever. The company claims like 12 minutes, but I've had these burn for like over 25 minutes straight. You can see how the legs pop up and fold shut. There's multiple stages here. So you have straight up and down. You can fold them in, and then it folds shut. This is the burner plate. That is where your fuel goes. You can see here that the burner plate is big enough for these 27-gram tablets, but you can use the smaller hexamine tablets if you want to. Around the burner plate, you have air holes. The front is the same as the back. Additionally, you receive this here, and this is a wind screen. And it goes into place just like that, nice and easy. With the pot supports, this is roughly 2 1/2 inches high at the highest point. You can use the stove like this for big pots, or you can bring it in for smaller pots, cups, and pans. The weight of this stove is 6.1 ounces, and that includes 2 of these 27-gram tablets. Inside of the stove, you can fit 2 of those tablets and some of the smaller tablets as well. Just like that. So you can have 2 of the big 27 grams down at the bottom, and you can have 2 of the smaller ones up at the top, if you want to. Let's go ahead and do a boil test, a burn test. I'm not going to use these for a simple cup of coffee, and that's because these are rather expensive. These 27-gram tablets, they burn for a long time. They're pricey, they really are. Whereas the smaller ones, they are quite a bit less expensive, and at the same time, they offer a good amount of burn time. Now, you may be wondering why I have them basically double bagged. They're sealed and also sealed in this Ziploc bag. That's because this fuel, hexamine, it stinks. I mean, it absolutely stinks. And you will smell this through the packaging. For an example, with these 27-gram cubes, you could smell this right now. It smells like shrimp. Unfortunately, this is toxic. So when you're around this, don't breathe in the vapors. In fact, you may want to use gloves when touching this stuff. It lights up fairly well, fairly easy. It takes just a few seconds from a lighter. Fold those in, put this on, and we're off. And we might as well time this. As you may be able to hear, it's somewhat breezy right now. Wind right around 9 miles an hour, something like that. So you can see just how well this works as far as like a windshield, the stove. It is doing a fantastic job of blocking the breeze. The flame is still shooting straight up right to the pot. It's not being blown out all over the place. The wind is actually coming in this way, so I'm going to go ahead and just turn this just a little bit, just like that. You have the windshield on the other side, you have the protected sides. It's that easy to adjust this stove. When it comes to a solid fuel stove, the thing you have to keep in mind is that it's not a rocket. It's going to take time. If you need boiling water in a hurry, a canister stove is the way to go. But if you have time to spare, something like this will work rather nicely. While this water is heating up, let's talk about the company Esbit. Now, Esbit is a German company. The original design for this stove came around in the 1930s, before World War II. Since that point in time, this product has been used with civilians, military forces, rescue organizations, humanitarian efforts, and so on. Backpackers use them, campers use them. They're excellent for all of those purposes, including like survival and prepping and whatnot. It's a nice little kit, and there's a reason why it's so popular. For myself, I like using these for like shorter trips, maybe like 1 to 2 days, something like that. If I was going out for like a longer period of time, I would want the canister stove, the fuel, so I could have longer burn times where I could control the stove, I could simmer, I could boil. With a stove like this, you really don't have control over the flame. You light it and it goes, that's it. Also, if you're going out for longer periods of time, you have to carry more fuel. So you have these little blocks inside of your backpack. Some people will only backpack with something like this, and that's totally cool. For myself, I prefer the canister stove for backpacking purposes, really. But again, for like those shorter trips, 1 to 2 days, something like this is really nice. Also, when you're going out for those shorter trips, 1 to 2 days, and you want to go ultralight, nothing is going to beat this. I mean, this is a very, very light system here. Okay, we're now at 12 minutes, and that is what is left. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and stop there right at 15 minutes. Yes, it's still burning, but it's not putting out much heat. So you can easily get 15 minutes off of one of those 15-gram cubes. For reference, everyone, this is a 750 milliliter pot. It works perfectly fine on this stove, and so does a small coffee cup just like this. This is from MSR. This is the Titan cup. This is very small. And as you can see there, it fits this perfectly. It works very well. And of course, you could use this with larger pots, larger pans. In that case, you would simply unfold the legs and have them straight up and down. So there you have it, everyone. That is the Medium Size Esbit stove in action. So what do I think about this product? For $15, I think this is an awesome stove. I'm a fan of these ultralight, compact, foldable, solid fuel stoves. For certain situations, certain trips, they work incredibly well. There's a reason why these are used with military forces all around the world. There's a reason why these are used with like outdoorsmen, outdoorswomen, and so on. They're great, they really are. They're just terrific products. They work really well in the outdoors. The fuel itself is somewhat controversial because it's toxic, right? Even the company recommends that you wear gloves to use this stuff. It's written right on the box. That is something that you need to consider before purchasing a stove like this and using that type of fuel. But for $15, I think it's a win. I like these stoves. I like the fuel for the most part. Just be careful with it. Wash your hands, don't breathe in the vapors. You should be okay. Overall, the pros for this: it's plain and simple. It's an awesome stove. It's easy to set up, easy to break down. You have the windscreen, and that works exceptionally well. The fuel is easy to ignite. For the most part, in windy situations, it can be a chore because it does take a second of holding that flame to that fuel to get it to light. The smaller tablets burn for a long time, but so do these. The 27-gram tablets burn for literally ever. With the hexamine, while it is toxic, it works incredibly well at high elevations and also in sub-zero conditions. The stove itself is high quality, it's well manufactured, there's no sharp edges. It's a good quality stove for 15 bucks. It's very lightweight, it can be used with other fuels from other companies, not just Esbit. There's a number of companies that make hexamine tablets, and you can use all of them, any size as well. The last pro that I have for this stove is that the walls are adjustable, so you can use this with larger pots, larger pans, smaller cups, smaller pans, and so on. Now let's move over to the cons. First, when it comes to the fuel, it is toxic. Next, it does leave quite a bit of soot, not only on the stove, but also on your pots. You can see the bottom of this cup here. I mean, it's black. It is black. And the only other con that I have is that the fuel can take some time to ignite, and it can be difficult in windy situations. Those are the cons, the pros and cons that I have for this product. All in all, the pros outweigh the cons in my opinion. Again, I love using these stoves. I've been using these for years. I love hexamine. It is a fantastic fuel. You can use it as a fire starter to get wet weather fires going. You can use it as a fuel to heat up water. You can cook with it, and so on. Again, it's one of those things where you light it and it goes. There is no adjusting it. So if you want to be able to simmer or control the heat, this is not the fuel for you. This is not the stove for you. For trips where you're going out very, very lightweight, this is perfect. For this episode, everyone, that wraps it up. Make sure to comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about the Esbit stove? What do you think about this medium size? Coming up soon, you will see my review of the large size stove and ultimately a comparison of all 3 sizes. Make sure to hit the like button before you go. You can support the channel here on YouTube or on Patreon. It is appreciated. The Outdoor Gear Review is agenda-free, no sponsors, no product placement. I'm not getting paid for anything. I don't care if you buy anything. I'm here to share information, and that is it. If you agree with my perspective, great. If you disagree, that's also great. Until next time, everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor. See ya.